Hey, good morning, everyone. I hope everyone is doing well this morning. I got my coffee. In fact, I've got it in my big coffee cup. See, we got some people in here this morning. Good morning, Kanu. Got Nancy in here. Good morning. I saw we got some signatures on the thing yesterday. We went a little bit behind, but given with what happened with President Trump, I can understand. Was not a priority, but I did push it out again today. I gotta make sure I'm doing this thing right. It's leaking on me. Did I? That's what I hate about some of these coffee things. They leak. I've had a couple that never leaked, and those ones I still keep. They're not as big as they're not as big as this one. I had one that was really nice, and it's got a big old dent in it, and that came from Afghanistan. Actually came from a convoy. So that one's really special to me, so I'll never get rid of that one. It'll be one of those things that, when I'm dead and gone, my kids are going to be like, why did he keep this? Chuck it. But I am pulling up some things here because I did some stuff yesterday. Hey, good morning, TC. Me and TC have been trading some texts this morning on things we want to do. I did send them, TC, I did send you a link that if you do want to jump in, it's in Facebook. So we might be having him on this morning. So I created a couple things yesterday. Some more T-shirts. Pretty much very quickly with all that happened with Trump, I recognized that him doing the fist pump was pretty iconic. It's a pretty iconic thing. Um, so pretty much what I did was I made up a picture. I took the picture and I turned it into a silhouette. I'll show you here what I did. So yeah, I took that image of Trump fist pumping and I turned it into a silhouette of t-shirt, and like people like it. I've sold we've sold like 5 of them already, so I'm pretty stoked about it. That's you got to recognize these. Um, you got to recognize these opportunities. I recognize that as that's an iconic image. People are gonna want that image on stuff. It would be like if the Che Guevara came out today, that picture. So I was like, oh, I'm gonna jump on this and see if we can pull in some money for the nonprofit. So we'll see. We'll see if we do. So far, pretty good seller. Actually, one thing that I want to do is I also want to make a Better Nation mug. I'll try to get that up there. And I'm telling people that if they buy this shirt, obviously if this becomes a huge seller, I can't do this. But if they buy this shirt and they post a picture of it on social media, I will send them a Better Nation coffee mug. So I'd taken it down, but I got to put the Better Nation logo mug back up because right now the only one that I've got is the Veterans Before Illegals. Hey, good morning, Chris. Welcome. Got people jumping in here this morning right off the bat. Most of you guys are on YouTube. We got some on X this morning, so welcome, welcome. But yeah, that was just a crazy situation yesterday with the president. Wow, just centimeters away from death. So pretty scary, but you know that's that job. We got Flippin' Adventures. Welcome, Deanna. Um, hey, Deanna, I know you talk with Willis. I sent him a Veteran Nation shirt, which, by the way, if you shoot me a size and an address, and I'll get you one. But I did get one to Willis. Saw that they got it. In fact, I got to put the picture up on the channel. But if they would like any more, let them know. If I will happily get Willis another one. Does anyone deal with full body spasms? Hit me up if you have a remedy. Ooh, yeah, that's a serious thing right there. The only people I've known to have them were people with cancer, and they are sadly family members who are now gone. Lost an aunt, my godmother, to brain cancer many years ago. Think it made Trump stronger and more determined. Well, definitely, it's going to strengthen his base. Trump still had low favorabilities. I think he was down like 10 points on favorability. So his favorabilities are definitely going to bump. Biden has very low favorabilities. So it was pretty much a race to see who could be the least unpopular. But now I would imagine that Trump will actually be popular after this. It's hard to not get sympathy from people when something like that occurs. So, yesterday we were reminded to encourage Americans to stand together and pray for Trump and our country. Yeah, absolutely. Which, by the way, I got to turn on the soundboard. I just got to turn it on. It's already connected because lost a lifelong friend to Parkinson's. You know, one thing I learned the other day was Michael J. Fox, when he was doing Back to the Future 2 and 3, he had to relearn how to skateboard. And he obviously was skateboarding in the first one. But yeah, he had to relearn, and doctors have told him that was the first sign of his Parkinson's. because that most motor skills you don't have to relearn. Once you learn how to ride a bike, you keep that motor skill. But yeah, he had to relearn it because his brain was already starting to degenerate. Speaking of degeneration, I'm back. I am back from my vacation. I might post a couple of the videos and stuff. I was in Ohio, spending lots of time on the lake. Um, with those spasms, AI is a pain places. Um, you know, as you guys saw, I used AI yesterday. AI can be a very powerful tool. Where it's going to go, I this is AI is like when the internet first came around. We knew it was going to be powerful. We didn't know how much. Gravy, have you tried soaking in a hot tub? Um, hey, one thing I do want to say, and I've already pushed it out on Twitter. You know what? I'm going to push it out again. We had Eric Miller. Eric Miller is a big fan of the show, big supporter. He runs KD7LTN. That's the name of his channel and his call sign. But he is trying to get a mobility scooter, and I had tweeted out the GoFundMe link. He's a big fan of our show. He's a big fan of What the Hail, supports. He's a Navy veteran, supports a lot of us veterans. So I am going to pull that up, and if you're on Twitter, I'm going to I'm gonna retweet that out again today. Where is that here? Well, you know what? I'm just going to go to his page. But yeah, I'm going to retweet that out for Eric. Great guy. He's got it pinned on his thing. I did get him some retweets on it. Let's see. I did donate myself to it. I gave him $25. I will be donating again. So I don't see anyone else. So if you guys please would, support Eric. He's a really good guy. He's a pastor as well. Lives in Texas, but yeah, good supporter of the show, good supporter of What the Hail. So if you can go and give him, even if you can only donate $5 to him, he's trying to get a mobility scooter. He's got a lot of health issues. If you want Skipper and I to do a show this week, put a 1 in the chat. If you don't, put a 2 in the chat. If you want Skipper to fire me, put a 3 in the chat. That's funny. So right here, we've got Conspiracy Kitty. He wants to make an appearance on the show this morning. He has been a pain in my butt. The last 2 days, this cat has woken me up. Let's see, yesterday was at 2:30 in the morning. This morning, it was 3:45. Yeah, he just wants to be, he wants me awake playing with him. I will let Wells know if you send me your size info. I'll send one of my 2 count or FA t-shirts. So far, I've only ones because they've never been for sale. Okay. How do you want me to send that? I can tell you I'm an XL. And my email is veterannation@protonmail.com. And anybody watching, you have any questions, anything you want to talk to me about, go to there. I have had some problems of some spam getting lost, but I think I've got it fixed now because I've been getting more spam, but people who have reached out to the show, I've gotten their emails. So, okay, you're shitting, and I don't want hair all over the show. So can we stop with that? Yeah. Don't even have to spray them. I just take I got the little air caster and just a little tap like that, and he's like, okay, I'm out of here. I know you don't want me here. I didn't get to fish in Ohio. That was one thing I wanted to do, but did not do. Normally, fishing is very good up there in Ohio, but did not do it this time around. The lake that my family has a place, Mark Wahlberg bought a place there, so he was spotted around town for 4th of July, which was pretty cool. I I met him in Afghanistan. He came out to debut The Fighter, so I got to talk to him about golf. Um, no, I don't have a PO box yet. Um, yeah, I don't have a PO box. But I'll tell you one thing I do have. We did set up a phone number for people to contact the show. And here, you can actually text me at the phone number as well. Um, do I have it below? I don't. So let me take a look here. Okay. So, yeah, and if you want to just call and leave a question for the show. In fact, on air today, well, no, I want to do it with I want to do it with TC. So if TC comes on air, I've got some voicemails that people have already left. I will get to them, but I do want to uh, get to those voicemails, and it's just so veterans can reach out. That number is going to be 225 395 1838. So let me put that into um, into the scroll down here below. Where am I at here? Text scroll. There we go. Um, if I can set this up to where people can call in live, I will do that. And I know we will. Okay, yeah, we'll do the voicemails on Tuesday. Okay, that'll work. Because yeah, and even I know we'll get some trolling. We'll get some trolling. That's fine. I just think it'll be a fun thing to do. Have people be able to call in live or email. Okay, perfect, perfect. I appreciate that. Uh, but yeah, if you have a comment or a question for the show, I now have the phone number. It's down below. You can text us there. Um, the link for the scooter, I pushed that out on Twitter. And if you're on our Facebook group, Veteran Nation, if you go into Facebook, we've got our Veteran Nation Facebook group. So there's the number right there going by. You can, you can go there. I've already posted it there as well. Just give Eric a couple bucks. I know he'll appreciate it. If we can get him a mobility scooter, now I would never bother Jeremy and George, but I do know some of you out there are people who do storage stuff. If you come across a mobility scooter, Eric is in Texas. He's a large guy, so if you, hey, good morning, Cora. Yeah, if you come across one that you're willing to sell for a discounted price, I'll probably do that because Eric is a veteran. Reach out to me. We can negotiate a price, and I'll use the nonprofit money if we can purchase one. If you guys find one, but he's doing a fundraiser right now. Because he if we can get him a mobility scooter, I know he really wants to get out there, and he's a chaplain for a couple places, and I know he really wants to get around a little bit. Hollywood seems to be dropping like flies. Just got noticed that Shannon Doherty has passed. Yeah, her, and then we had Richard Simmons yesterday. My grandmother loved Richard Simmons. Yeah, she was always sweating to the oldies. Now, yeah, I'm not going to make a bad joke. I'll save that for Twitter. I save all my bad jokes for Twitter. But yeah, if we can help Eric, I really would like to help him. He's just a great guy. But yeah, and I know it's a legitimate need for his mobility scooter. So if we find one, it doesn't have to be perfect. But I know a lot of you guys are out there doing like storage things and you buy and sell things. So if you come across one, just let me know. And we can work something out. the hard part, I think, is going to be getting it to Texas. He's in the Austin area, but I do need to go to Austin. So if it's a matter where I have to go pick up and deliver, I will, as long as I'm not going too far. Um, as I was saying yesterday, we've got some enemies of the show, people who are out there. You know, when you see a veteran nonprofit doing a show, and your first instinct is to attack, it tells you more about you than anything else. Um, but yeah, so we've got some, and I'm not going to say they're powerful enemies. It's people with power, people with. If I told you their position, like who they worked for and where they're at, you'd be like, "What?" This is like CEO level things of a very big organization fighting this show. All because I don't. Me and TC, we fight corruption, and if your organization has corruption, yeah, we're gonna talk about it. And but I don't think this is going to be a very long fight. I think in the next couple weeks I'll be able to talk to stuff. But you know, here's the thing: as my letter to Governor DeSantis, telling him to to have the Levy County Sheriff investigated by the FBI, to request that investigation, you think that, you know, when you see me doing these things on the channel, you'd be like, you know what, I'm just going to leave well enough alone. Or I'll reach out to the skipper and say, hey, what can I do? I don't want any bad publicity. What can I do to help, you know, ease your issues with this? That I would totally respect. But it's not what these people are doing. They want me just to shut up. And me and TC, as TC will tell you in the chat, we are not people just to go quietly into that good night. We're going to talk about what's going on in the most truthful way that we can. So the fact that there's enemies of the show, it's like, okay, well, good luck. Good luck, because you're not going to shut me up. That's too many years as a Marine. If there's one thing I don't do, it's shut up. We are a talking bunch. We are very vocal. Just don't ask me what happened to the little yellow birdie with the little yellow bill. Marine joke. Okay. Oh, hey. No, thank you. Hey, no, thank you. Well, I didn't get a notification. Hey, calm down. It's okay. We're fine. There's no one at the door. I just looked. Hey, please go lay down, little girl. This dog is. I've got people who, you know, I take my Glory's my service dog. Take her. She goes to work with me, and people are like, "Oh my God, she's so quiet. She's so good." I'm like, "Oh, she's not quiet. Once she knows she's not working anymore, she is a loud dog." Yeah, you're a yappy dog, aren't you? Hey, she doesn't care. She's like, "I'm not working. Leave me alone." Is that the letter that says McCallum should investigate his own department? Yes, this is, well, actually, no, that was from the Attorney General. This one does say that individuals who believe law enforcement officers may be guilty of criminal misconduct should bring the evidence to their local state attorney. And I have taken it to the state attorney already. The state attorney is the one who says they're the most appropriate one to investigate. This is why I'm very much in favor of when local police departments and sheriffs have a community board that kind of oversees internal affairs. So that way you can, you know, there's oversight. It's a check and balance. So if you are trying to get one of those going in your area, let me know. We would like to support you with that. And TC, I know he's listening. He's actually doing chores around his house. So TC will tell you, like, he's kind of doing the same thing up there in Minnesota. He is fighting all the corruption there, and he was a sheriff's deputy. TC was a sheriff's deputy up in Minnesota, so he got to feel the corruption from the inside, and it's very hard to fight this stuff, and that's why we need to stick together. I did yeah, let me see if I can find it. I did reach out to the gentleman running against Sheriff McCallum. I didn't check this morning to see. No, no replies. Um, sorry, I don't have his name. I just have his email on me right now. But yeah, I am gonna have Sheriff McCallum's opponent. I'm trying to get him onto the show so that we can, you know, ha- if these politicians, and Sheriff is absolutely a politician, if they realize how replaceable they are, maybe then they won't be so complacent and will actually do the people's bidding. Don't forget to sign the petition. Yeah, we got the petition on. Uh, Hold on, where is it? We got the petition about helping us veterans keep our Second Amendment rights. I just retweeted that out this morning. Where's that here? I'm gonna pull it up for you guys so then you can all see. There we go. It's just taking a minute. So let me reduce this. There you go. So here's our petition here. We got 21 signatures, so not bad for our first day. But with what happened with President Trump, I can totally understand. Our goal was 100, so we came in short, but that's fine. And as you can see today, no, put this. All we want is for the VA should not be able to deny us our Second Amendment rights, which is what's happening right now. They are just going Durloff, as we say in the direct liaison authorizations, was that they're going Durloff to the ATF and having us put into NICS because a veteran might not be able to control their finances. That is what they're using as justification for veterans to not be able to have their Second Amendment rights, and it's wrong. That's um, there's many reasons why someone could, they just might suck at money. They might have a gambling problem. Has nothing to do with them being able to own and operate a firearm safely. And as we see with John Crook, there's people out there that who should have their gun rights taken away, who have used them and displayed them illegally, and you have government entities not wanting to do anything. So why should veterans be held to a different standard? As the Supreme Court has said many times, any of your constitutional rights, especially the Bill of Rights, those first 10, but also the 14th Amendment, those are almost all of them, individual rights. And the only way those should ever be taken from you permanently, temporarily, okay, red flag laws, got it, but permanently, you should have to, the only person who should be able to do that is a judge. It should not be bureaucrats at the ATF and the VA. Coming from a family full of red-blooded military and law enforcement Americans, it hurts my heart and is truly frightening that I cannot trust local law enforcement or the local judicial system to protect me or others. I'm right there with you. I've been attacked in my county twice on camera. And the same thing that they just dropped all those charges on Lynette and John and Jeremy, where they said, oh, we don't believe we can get a conviction. Same exact BS answer that they gave to me. In fact, the one happened while I was live streaming. I went into, it's in my service dog harassment and corruption playlist. I have the edited version and the full version. I went into a restaurant here, and the irony is, all I wanted was to get a to-go meal. I just wanted to get a to-go meal and go back to work. And I walked in with my dog, and the guy immediately was like, "No pets in here." And I'm like, "No, she's a service dog." And he started pointing at this sign that said, no pets and all this stuff. And he was like, "I want to see the dog's papers. Service dogs don't have papers." And I was trying to explain that to him, and he was like, "No, no, you leave or I'm calling the sheriff." And I said, "Well, you should call the sheriff then." So he picked up the phone and called the sheriff. And I said, "Okay, now you've called the sheriff. Now I have to remain because you called the sheriff, and I'm not going to flee from them. I'm going to sit here. So I sat down. They didn't serve me. I started live streaming, and after almost 2 hours of live streaming, the sheriff, they were taking their sweet ass time getting there, because that's what they do. This guy just got mad, and him and his wife attacked me. Well, I would assume it's his wife. Could be his paramour. But yeah, they attacked me. They were older people, so they really, all they did was bruise me. But the thing that really set me over the top is they threatened my dog, and that happened during a 911 call. And San Bernardino, California, wouldn't give me the 911 tape. They consider that an investigatory record. But again, they don't want transparency. My opinion, the response to drop the case is them saying they don't have time because they're too busy being a politician to make money and retain power. Absolutely. Absolutely. And, now with that, I'm probably going to, I was going after the sheriff. I'll probably go after the DA as well, because, yeah, it's just a matter of they just don't want to do it. That's what I deal with here. I still have a court case here. We go a month from today, August 14th, we go to, if they don't freaking delay it again. I've been ready for trial since January, and they just keep delaying it. But August 14th, I'm going for the restraining order. I've got video. I can prove that even in for the people who got the restraining order, even in their statement, they lied. And at least in the case of one of them, I can also prove a history of violence against me. So I'm going to be fine. I'm going to be fine. That restraining order is going to go away. It's just a matter of time. So I'm biding my time. I've never been worried about this whole thing. But when the DA looked at it, he was like, well, I'm not, because they weren't making it. I was like, are you guys going to prosecute me? Because they were trying to charge me with battery. And he was like, no, we looked at it. It's clearly self-defense in your case. I go, okay, you're going to charge them? No, you kicked the guy's ass, so you should be happy with that. We don't think we can get a conviction beyond a reasonable doubt. And I'm like, it's on camera. It's on camera. I didn't touch anybody until they touched me in the whole video. But you guys will see the video. It's disgusting. It is absolutely disgusting. And there are people embarrassed by that video, and they don't want it shown to the public. Well, guess what? It's going to be. It's my right to show it, and I will show it. I just have to wait for the judge to make his little determination. But yeah, these people coming against me, it's like, I can't be intimidated. I can't. So good luck. Good luck. Just like Jeremy. Jeremy does his videos now for his protection, for Deanna's protection, for Willis's protection. That's the thing, that we have to protect ourselves. So we have to record, and we have to put out there, hey, I put out there, if something happens to me, everyone knows Hal Sellers is the one who did it. Because I have to do that for my protection. The dude attacked me, and no one wanted to do anything about that. So I got to protect myself. And I'll do that in the ways I find most appropriate. And I'm not a violent person. So, yeah, my way is going to be using my freedom of speech. So, it is what it is. But some days it feels, with what happened yesterday, it sometimes feels like the world has just gone crazy. But you have people like, Marines like me, who I'm content just to sit back, drink my coffee, and watch the world burn and laugh. Excuse me. Anything you guys want to talk about? Today's, Coffee with the Skipper is always an open forum. We try to keep the we try to keep the when we do the show, like our normal show, me and TC, which we are going to do Tuesday. We try to keep that structured. That will be 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific on Tuesday evening. We'll be doing that, and yeah, we try to keep that one structured. I think he still wants us to do our debate because me and TC, we don't agree when it comes to Palestine and Israel. We have we have some disagreements there, so we're going to debate that out. But it's a friendly debate. I do respect him. I respect his opinion. He respects me, respects my opinion, and that's what's great about the show. We're two veterans who have differing opinions. The last thing I wanted to do when I did this show was I didn't want to do a vet bro show where we just talk about tattoos, motorcycles, and guns. Those things are all great. They're just not my passion. Um, I, I like having intellectual thought, and I think me and TC, you know, definitely have that. I do know he's a thinking guy, as am I. So, you know, I do some of my biggest, what I'll say, soul searching when I'm driving in my car with no radio playing and just me and my thoughts. So, and I kind of do that with the show. When you guys aren't making comments and I'm just talking, that's what I'm doing. So I'll talk things out with you guys. Is there anything about the whole Trump situation you guys want to talk about? Oh, I do want to reach out and say if you guys all like have the coffee with the skipper, I'm gonna get this plug in. Indy's Coffee. Brandon Jones is a Marine. He owns and runs the place. He's down there in Texas. He makes great coffee. It's what I drink when I do the show, and he is a veteran and helps a lot of veterans. Does a lot of stuff for various different nonprofits. So go to Indy's Coffee. I believe it's indiescoffee.com and buy some of his coffee. He's a great dude. He and his wife, they do great things down there. So support them. They've supported the show. I've had him on the show before. I got to get them back on the show. Maybe I'll try to see if I can bring his wife in and talk about a military spouse perspective. I understand there's a lot of spouses out there. They're like, no, I don't want to talk. I don't want to go on camera, and I got it. I was actually talking with a woman yesterday who might. She is a part of a think tank, and might be bringing in some retired military experts. So that would be great for the show if we can bring some of those people. They want us to be afraid. Oh, absolutely. There are people who they want you to be silent, unarmed, and scared. Definitely. Those. That's why our rights, our civil rights, are written that way. The First Amendment, by far the most important of all of our rights. It's the one that can do the most good, the one that can do the most damage. Second Amendment is there to protect the First Amendment. Everything else beyond that is to protect those. So our founding fathers were pretty big geniuses for this structure. They understand that you set up the rules and then you let people work within them, and they can change them. They can set up guidelines for later. But yeah, they were pretty darn smart for people with, I believe, the average signer of the Declaration of Independence had a fourth grade education, if I remember correctly. A couple of them went to college, like Jefferson went to William and Mary. Adams went to. Did he go to Harvard? I believe he went to Harvard. Um, and I know a couple others went to Yale. But yeah, some really smart folks, but they were willing to look at what's it? They were willing to look at society as a whole and actually write everything towards the way that man operates, I guess is the way I would say it. They really were. I got some hair. I think it's cat hair on the tip of my nose. They were really willing to look at what makes a man tick and operate, and then write everything based upon that. In fact, I'm going to show you guys something. This is one of the things that used to drive me as an officer. It's this book right here, The Armed Forces Officer, and the first chapter of this is absolutely amazing. They've rewritten this, and I don't think the rewrite is as good as this. Uh, this was written by S.L.A. Marshall and General S.L.A. Marshall, and it was written just after World War II, I believe. And it's an incredible book. Definitely, talks about the principles of our military. And I highly, if you can get the non rewritten version, I highly recommend it. If not, if I, I'll happily make you a copy of the first chapter if you want. First chapter is the meaning of your commission, and that drove so much of the way I acted as a Marine Corps officer and the way I made my decisions. Um, because, I'll tell you, there's a lot of BS out there. There was a lot of BS up there. Once laws and things began having language above a sixth grade reading level, we the people lost our power. Yeah, there's some truth to that. There's absolutely some truth to that. I'm just taking a look right now. I'm gonna put the stream back out there so people can, you got to retweet this stuff every once in a while. Everyone, we got 16 viewers on Twitter. Please retweet this and like it. If you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe. But yeah, that's the whole thing. Like with our tax code, I've had people be like, "Oh, we should have a flat tax. People who are like, we should be paying. Rich people should be paying our fair share." I have no problem with our progressive tax code. In theory, the problem is when you start putting in exceptions. Every exception becomes a loophole, and every time they make these laws saying, "Oh, we're going to do this to incentivize this, or we're going to do this to help this person," yeah, they're creating loopholes. That is absolutely what you're doing, because any exception to the rule can always be exploited. Always. Uh, Blacks versus Websters. Are you talking about the dictionary? I'm not sure what you mean by that. Sorry, Gravy. Just if you can, give us a little bit more to that so I can understand what you're saying. But yeah, and the same is true with our laws. When you start carving out exceptions within the law, it becomes ways for people to exploit it. Oh, I see Backslab is here. Barely staying awake. Did you work late last night? Me and Max Lab, we DM pretty much every day. I'm sure he probably gets frustrated with me because I'm a horrible texter. Most days I'm like, yeah, okay, nice, and that's just me. I'm all about quick, snappy communications. And for women who try to date me, it is incredibly frustrating. I've had a couple women break up with me and be like, "Look, your communication, I'm just, I'm okay with texting. I just will short text, and it's just because I just want to, I don't want to write a book, you know, and but ironically, I'm not a person who wants to stay on the phone a long time. I love when my older brother, when he calls me, because it's like, hey, I got a question. He goes into his question, I answer it, and he's like, okay, bye, and hangs up. I've literally had 30-second phone calls with my brother before. It's straight to the point. I can appreciate that. The government uses blacks while the schools teach Websters. Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. Okay. They're not keepers if they break up just for that reason. I'm in California. Not many keepers here. In fact, a lot of crazies here. So, same, short and sweet, to the point. Yep. Yeah. I haven't given up on dating here. It's just something I don't do a lot of. Hey, good morning, Joseph. Welcome. Yeah. I live out in the desert. There's a lot of scammers out here. Like people who are just, as I've always said, there's like I had the one thing that went viral on Instagram where someone was on my neighbor's property trying to steal a catalytic converter from one of his vehicles. His house burned down. He's got to live in a different area of California. and I keep an eye on his property, and I chase this guy off, and people, some people were like, "Oh, you should have shot him" and stuff like that. Not my property. I legally couldn't do it, but there's scammers like him, and I recognize they're people just trying to survive. That's what they do. They don't live here. They try to survive, and that's what I see with a lot of these women. They're trying to see, what guy's going to take care of them. I'm not mad about it. It's like I've got a kid. I don't want to take care of someone else. If you're in your 40s and you need someone to take care of you, um, you haven't figured things out, and you're probably not going to. I would much rather have a partner who's got ambition and who already has things figured out, and there's some way for us to mutually benefit. And there's actually not a lot out here in California because California de-incentivizes being independent nowadays. Um, it's funny because the Western mindset is very independent, but California is the one state that has really moved away from that. They want everybody to be dependent, and they all want to be in everybody's business. Uh, our number one bumper sticker out here is "Go back to LA," because we get a lot of LA people who move out here to the desert, and they're like, "Oh yeah, this is beautiful," and California is the only state in the U.S. I don't want to visit. No offense, man. I know some great people that live there. The government, laws, ideologies keep me away. You can visit, don't stay. I live, like, literally, if I turned the camera and showed you out my bedroom window, you could see Joshua Tree. It's beautiful. It's worth visiting. I've reached out to Madam Mayor and Brent and said, hey, you guys should come here because there's a lot of RVs, a lot of people with ATVs. It's a big tourist area out here, and it is great. Don't stay. Do not stay. I will not be here for forever. Uh, in fact, I've had to recently. This year was the year I was planning to move. Uh, I bought this house with the intent of eventually renting this out. I'm now making this a part of my business, um, so that I can rent this out. I'm using my VA home loan. The best thing for us veterans that they've given for us to generate wealth, the home loan. Buy a property, pay it down, turn it into an investment property, rinse, repeat. It's a great way to make money. So I was looking at this year was going to be the year that I left, and I'm going to stick around a little bit longer. Um, there's a couple reasons for it, but I will not be spending my whole life in California. In fact, a lot of the reason is because I don't have the next thing set up. And I was talking with my brother when I was in Ohio. We're going to be doing a couple things business wise that will actually set up the next thing for me. So I'm a patient man. I'm an incredibly patient man. The military taught me patience. Um, Hurry up and wait is what we always say. So I can wait. And I'm things that I set up years ago are now coming to fruition. Um, on multiple fronts. So it's kind of funny. You have to do those little things to um, make the big things happen. That one admiral who talks about he did that speech about making your bed. Yeah, you have to do those little things so that the big things will all fall into place. If not, Murphy's law, Murphy being Murphy, if it can go wrong, it will go wrong. And I learned that as a logistics officer in the military. So, moving things around, moving people around, setting up events, doing supply, all that stuff. If it can fail, it will fail. So, come figure out where it's going to fail before it does and have a plan. I'm looking for reciprocity in life, a partnership. Oh, absolutely, gravy. Absolutely. California is not RV friendly. They have enacted laws about overnight parking being a crime. Depends on where you're at. That depends on where you're at. So, uh, some places have been doing that because a lot of homeless people are living in RVs. It's mainly in places to protect the beaches. But I'll tell you right now, if you like, If you go to my local Walmart, it's nothing but RVs. But here's the thing: there's so many RV parks out here, and it's fairly cheap. I've got one less than 4 miles from my house. It's about $40 a night, which is not bad. And then if you're a veteran or if you're over the age of 60, you can go and stay. You get the discounted rate at the national parks, where it's like $15 a night. Um, in fact, I want to go up to Sequoia National Park and spend a weekend up there. I was talking with Miss Angel a little bit about it. We just gotta figure out what weekend's going to be best. I do all my work on the weekends. This is actually me taking breaks when I do this stuff. Um, so I just have to. I have to spend time during the week preparing if I'm going to go away for the weekend. Um, but I do want to go up to Sequoia. In fact, I got to start. The other thing I got to do is edit my videos. I've got a couple travel videos. I want to do a travel component to Veteran Nation. Just veteran travel. And if any of you all want to help me with that, want to do videos about, hey, here's this place where you should come visit. Here's, if they have any benefits to veterans, great. Um, that I've always wanted to do that. In fact, I'm trying to get a buddy of mine who's a veteran he's a big golfer, and I'm like, dude, please go golfing on these military installations. Take some video and pictures and send it to me, because that's one thing I will say that the bases do a great job of. If you're a golfer, they have some great courses that you can go golf. Um, if I can get reviews of that, I want to do Veteran Nation golf, Veteran Nation travel. I think that'll be fun stuff to do. So I just got to edit. I've got 2 or 3 videos of that I've got to edit. I've got another. I'm going to sit down today. My apologies to my buddy at United Warrior Alliance. I have to finish off the second half of the interview I did with him. That one, we kept getting kicked off, so that's why there's a lot of edits. Because, if you guys rewatch that interview, it just would suck if I didn't have that edited. And editing is so time consuming. And incredibly time consuming. That's why a lot of the stuff that you see are where I can edit it on my phone, because it's easy for me to edit on my phone while I'm doing other stuff. I'm just taking a look here at some of the stuff. Oh, some of these people who are just so anti Jeremy and George, they're so petty. So petty. I laugh at how petty they are. California allowed Slab City. It started out as a place for freedom and then turned it into a danger zone. Yeah. So Slab City is about 45 minutes away from me. I have been there. Did we just lose? I just lost a bunch of people who are watching. Okay. You guys, I still might have the people watching. Let me take a look. It looks like Restream's having some issues. Yes, John Crook is still in jail. He cannot afford the bail. $7,500 is what he needs. They can't even get that for an attorney. So he will be in jail for a while. Slab City. So actually, Slab City was a Marine Corps base, and 29 Palms used to be the Army Air Glider base. But pretty much, if you come out here, this whole area of the desert was where Patton, before they went to the invasion of North Africa, this is where they brought all the tanks and everything, and they did desert training. And there was different areas. In fact, down in Slab City, there's actually a former naval base that still has radioactivity from when they stored the nuclear bombs that they created. It's not radioactivity that's going to hurt you. It's just residual stuff that it'll be there. It's the rocks out here in the desert are just as radioactive. In fact, there's a uranium mine not too far from here that I watched a guy on YouTube. He was exploring it, and I was watching. I'm like, is that my neighborhood? And like, it's in the background because he's up on top of one of the hills. And sure enough, I'm like, yeah, that is. He showed the map. I'm like, I know exactly where that uranium mine is. But yeah, so there's all these old military things left out here, and it's very interesting to go. Like there's uh, what do they call it? Mountain Center. They actually still have where they built the outdoor chapel, and there's like things where they were. It's not an altar; it's the thing behind the altar where it's kind of like this, but there's places where they had candles and a cross and all that stuff. So that's still there, and people go out. I would say suburban exploring because we're not urban here, but they go urban exploring out there to get pictures of it. You can still walk in there, take pictures. You just can't mess with it because it's considered a historical site, and it's on BLM land. Wondering if Ohio Court will allow them to be on Zoom for court on Friday. It's not so much Ohio Court. It's will the Florida uh, jail allow him to be on Zoom? The court will always give people the ability to be there. Whether the jail does is the question, because jails are not always the best ones about that. Uh, my timeshare used to be Silverleaf, and they had courses on nearly every property, but the golf I play is putt-putt. But the courses look green and clean. Wish I could travel and use my timeshare. Um, you know what? We should talk about something, Gravy. Yeah, because okay, there are ways to allow others your timeshare, and you can actually like if you were to like let someone else use it, you can either sell it or donate it. And if you were to donate it to Better Nation, maybe we could do, like do as a prize for uh, what's it for a veteran to where they can get a vacation, but you get the tax write off for that for donating it. If that's something you're up for, I've always wanted to do. In fact, part of this whole thing of me and my brother, we were talking about if we start really investing in these properties, we would like to give veterans like, hey, you get a 4-day vacation here and just use our properties for that. That's why I'm keeping this nonprofit very small until it can be big. Like if I were to find a corporate sponsor who is willing to give us big money, the first thing I would probably do is go to some place like Big Bear or San Pedro Island, or I'm trying to think of like places that are very tourist, and buy a place and be like, okay, we're going to give military families either severely discounted or a free vacation somewhere, military and veteran families. Um, so that's something I would like to do, but again, I can't do that now. I don't pull in enough money. I mean, I did sell some of these Trump T-shirts yesterday, but and great, it's going to help us do some stuff. But my buddy used one in Texas. They loved it. Had a full kitchen and a Whirlpool tub. Awesome, awesome. That's uh, you know, and yeah, I might even be able to get some way where if you donate it, I might be able to get you some money back for it. So then, like you're donating half the money. I don't know. We can figure all this stuff out. But there's some opportunities there, and yeah, especially military and veteran families, it, they go through a lot of stuff, and it's a hardship in many ways, and that's why there's such high divorce rates. So being able to give the families things like that, that's why I say this show it's to help veterans, military, and their families, because those families need help too. Um, in fact, I also want to plug um, a friend of mine who's been on the show before, uh, and there in he's there in Florida. I'm gonna pull up his thing right now. Um, but yeah, like the families, it's really tough. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna show you guys this. This is on Amazon. It's still coming up. So this, okay. So a friend of the show, Carl, he wrote this book. His son was in the Air Force, took an IED, survived the IED, but died I want to say a couple months later, of complications. And Carl wrote this book, My Daddy's Heart is Purple. And this is all for families who have experienced, their loved one being injured with military service. So this is a great book. If you'd like to do anything, obviously I've got Eric's his thing out there. We've got the petition, sign this. But this is another thing that you guys can do. You could buy this book and donate it to your local library, or donate it to a veterans organization, so that they can give it to a child for someone who's been injured. Because it's a really good way to support the military and veterans families. Crook has upgraded his housing since he's sitting in jail. Yeah, he's got running water. He's got an actual toilet. He doesn't have to. I still laugh about the video that Jeremy put out. What was it, 2 weeks ago, where the deputy came, and it was the one about the poop in the stakes that they had put up, where the one deputy is like, hey, look, everybody here, this is not a big deal. We're all very blessed. We're all healthy. We've all, we all eat well. And she was like, well, you don't know my story. And it's like, oh my God, such a narcissist. The guy's trying to say we all have our basic needs being covered for. We should feel blessed for those. And she immediately has to turn it around on herself as, oh, woe is me. That is straight narcissism. And I immediately clipped that and I put it in a couple of the What the Hells groups on Facebook, and I was like, can you believe this person? Like, she's the pastor. You think she would be the one talking about that, but no, just straight narcissism. And then I've got one of the haters who has a YouTube show who's using me for content. I'm not going to mention his name, but yeah, he uses my posts for content, and he said I really don't care. Use my posts for comment, or for content. I don't care. Don't use this show. That's what I'll say. Don't use this show. You want to take my Twitter posts and my Facebook posts, talk about, I don't care. Talk about it all day long. Which is exactly what he did. But he was trying to say I post as a Christian, and I'm like, I really don't talk about my religion that much. I don't talk about my religious beliefs that much. I will have conversations with people, but I really don't think most of those are for public consumption, because some people will just when it comes to discussing beliefs, some people just can't discuss it. Now, if TC said, hey, let's do a show where we talk about Christianity, great. I'll talk about that. It's Will Town's Worst. That's who the guy is. And yeah, he's just, his show, it's just, I watch it and I'm like, dude, you're grifting off people. Like me, I tell you to help people. I will absolutely say, go to Eric's GoFundMe, donate to him. Buy Carl's book, because it's, buy one of my t-shirts. With all these things, like, you're helping somebody, okay? You're not helping me. If you buy a shirt from Veteran Nation, you're not helping Mike Arthur. Not at all. That money will go to a veteran. I am very big on that. My nonprofit costs me money, because when you guys donate money, and I'm going to give someone, like, if you give me $50 for a gift card, I'm going to probably throw in another $25 or $50 so that they're getting a $75 to $100 gift card. It costs me money. I don't mind it. That's why I do this show, is to help people. That's the goal of this show. It's the goal of the nonprofit. But if I'm just on there saying, hey, give me super chat money to help the show, I'm just telling you, hey, pay my bills for me. And I don't want to do that. I've had people ask me to do Amazon wish list. I might do that. I'm very much on the fence. I could do subscriptions on Twitter. I could do memberships on YouTube. I haven't set that stuff up because if I want you to get something out of it. I don't just want to, you sending me money or sending the nonprofit money. You should benefit too. So if you buy a T-shirt or you buy a coffee mug, there you go. You're going to get something out of it, and you're helping us. Like I sold, I want to say 10 shirts yesterday, and a couple of those people gave donations. That was completely on them. I was going to get $2 or $3 for each of those shirts. If they gave another $10 or $20, great. All that money I'm going to take and give it to people to help. Had to take a phone call. What did I miss? Just me running my suck. Nothing, nothing that interesting. We talked a little bit about how Crook is in a much better situation because now he's got his meals. He's got a working toilet. He's got heat. JK and DJ Redis came up with some great ones. They do their thing. Those guys do their thing, and good on them. I am shocked about. Well, I shouldn't say shocked, because I knew where Ray Bone Crusher was a hater. I before all this really kicked off, like a year ago in June, I had watched a couple of his videos where he's talking about Otter Creek, and he was kind of hating a little bit. So then when he kind of came to Jeremy's side, I don't want to say I was suspicious. I was like, oh, okay, so he changed his view a little bit, but now he's hating again on some people. I don't use Jeremy and George for content. If I do this and you guys want to talk about it, I'll talk about it. But on my show, I'm not really going to talk about it unless if I'm talking about aspects of corruption like this. That's where I'll talk about Jeremy and George. I really don't want this platform to be about the drama of Lynette and John. I'll talk about it if you guys want to talk about it, because that's when I do the show. It's Coffee with the Skipper. We're just talking. Any of you guys ever want to come onto the show? Like if you said right now, hey, shoot me an email, I want to come on and talk, I'll send you a Skype thing and bring you on the show. But there's too many of these people who are just trying to build their stuff off Jeremy and George. I want to support them because I believe they're good people and I believe that they're fighting a corrupt system. I want to fight that system along with them. That's what I want. Same thing. I think Travis is doing a great thing with TubeTown. He's bringing people into Otter Creek. That's what I laugh about this whole thing with Lynette and John. They are against all these people visiting. It's like, you realize you could benefit from that. You have your sign. It's a shell thing. You could probably put they've got their blessing box. You could probably invite those people into your space and be like, hey, look, let us tell you our side of the story, and maybe you can get something out of that. But instead, everything they do is negative. They think everybody's against them, and that's how narcissists are. If they can't use you, they will discard you. I was married to one. I know it. Timeshare was a divorce present. Dumbest buy I ever made when I got switched into Holiday Inn and lost all the money I paid Silverleaf, so I almost paid double the price. Big time scam, don't do it. I used to work for a timeshare company, and the thing is, if you're the type of person who does take a ton of vacations, they can be worth it. But beyond that, no. And here's the other thing. Almost all those timeshare, like the ones where you need points and stuff, you can go on to eBay and buy them for pennies on the dollar. So, the people who call themselves Christians but complain and expect others, like JH, to act and be perfect are the antithesis of Christian. Oh, absolutely. And I've lived overseas. I lived in a Muslim country. Here's one thing. Living in the Middle East was like living in Alabama. Very similar. People who are very religious, for the most part, everyone's friendly, but you will get those who judge. And unfortunately, when people judge, they generally are very harsh. And they're also the people who don't want to be judged. I totally support What the Hell's Vice Mayor Carl Travis Flippin. Absolutely, great people, all great people. What's up, brother? Hey, Miltivet. Okay, Miltivet. They have a great show. Better Nation Rocks. Thank you. So Miltivet, they're doing a similar show to ours. They're commenting right now on Twitter, but their show is on YouTube. I don't know. Let me know if you guys push it out anywhere else. Subscribe to those guys. Their show will probably surpass ours because they're very structured. They're two really good veterans, but we're doing very similar things, and I think it's great what they're doing. And like they've got I noticed they were up over 400 followers, so definitely go give those guys a like. They're telling veteran stories, and yeah, they knew more about what they were doing before I ever figured this. It took me a couple years to figure this out. I was very fortunate where I had networks putting out my show. So very early on, I had 5,000 people watching, 10,000 people watching, and as those networks changed, I lost all those subscribers and had to rebuild everything. It was a learning curve, but I'm more comfortable on camera. I'm much more structured. I know what I'm doing now. So, like, but I had that leg up. These guys don't, and they're doing a great job. And I'll tell you, these guys do. Yeah, YouTube, Apple, and Spotify. Miltivet, it's the Return to Roots podcast and Veteran Series Forum. With the name Veteran Nation, I personally prefer more information about military and veteran life. The name, I assume, would be content from an outside perspective. We try to do that. We also try to tell veteran stories. It's kind of all over the place. I have tried to get more people on Veteran Nation as hosts. Like I said, if I can get someone to do, veteran golf, veteran travel, or if people want, if you have a channel, if you're a veteran or do veteran stuff and you have a channel and you just want to put your content here, just so you can pull more people, or by all means, this is not Mike Arthur's channel. This is Veteran Nation. But yeah, it can be hard getting content. That is one hard part about doing these shows, having content. They erected the shelving sign directly across from the YouTube driveway, but don't want publicity or people to notice. Also, they have 700 feet of frontage and choose that spot. Yeah. Brett is a veteran. I've reached out to Brett. I have tried to get him on the show, but I got him right when they started on the road. So just wasn't a good time. When him and Madam Mayor kind of like settle down a little bit, I'll get that back, and we'll do something together, because they're great people, and I'm enjoying their stuff. I did watch the Moose video the other day, so I'm enjoying what they're doing. But yeah, and again, I want to help other veterans succeed. So if there's a veteran out there who's trying to build a brand, like if a veteran reached out to me and said, Carl's a veteran, I don't have cons with Carl. If you can help him get in touch with me, that would be perfect. If a veteran is doing a business, like how Brandon of Indies Coffee is, I will promote that business. If they want to help generate content, what I always tell people is like, if you don't have a YouTube show, but you have an Instagram, you have a TikTok, you can still send me the stuff. I will put it onto Veteran Nation. I'll put out shorts, I'll put out stuff, and tell people, go there and like your stuff. So that way you can expand your brand. As I've talked with many veterans about, things that they're doing about fighting harassment and corruption, YouTube is one platform. I'm also good at I'm pretty good at Twitter, and that's also why I have True Social, because those are very similar. I'm not as good as Instagram. I don't have a TikTok. I'm trying to think. Facebook, but you have to get people within your circle, get them on your team, and just sending them, being like, hey, can you push this out? Pushes it out. Anyone wants me to retweet anything, send it to me. I will retweet it. If you want me to put up a video on YouTube, I will help expand your brand. Rumble, I do have a Rumble. I just don't I got to sit down and learn how I can, because Restream immediately do Rumble. There's a way to set it up. I just haven't figured it out yet. I just have to sit down. It's got to be quiet for me to do that. But I will eventually be pushing on Rumble. I honestly think the future of this show is going to be Twitter/X. Elon wants X to be the #1 video platform. So I am investing in that, of putting a personal investment of my time and efforts. I still do YouTube. I'm at about the same amount of subscribers on both. YouTube a little bit more, but I think that's where the future will be. Now, if Rumble really starts showing that, I will get on Rumble, but Rumble and Locals work together, and Locals is the only thing that I think would absolutely be able to replace Twitter. But I think Elon buying it kind of took those wins out of the sails. Locals was really growing fast, and I was about ready to abandon Twitter and move to Locals. And then when Elon bought Twitter, I was like, okay, I'll give this a little bit of a longer thing. And Twitter, I think, has gotten better. I have surgery July 19th at the VA hospital, Loma Linda, for bone spur. I told the doctor I wanted a good-looking doctor doing it. Hey, if the doctors are probably going to suck anyway, so you might as well get something out of it, right? Just hopefully you don't have one like Kahanu who stalked his Facebook and then started going negatively to try to have his Second Amendment rights taken away from him. But we need to, Kahanu, if you're still watching or listening right now, we need to push that joint letter, and we need to get that going. Because we're doing a joint letter to Congress with a bunch of us veteran streamers. In fact, everyone should definitely Mill the Vet, subscribe to their stuff. Also, Gravy's channel. Gravy's been pushing out more stuff. Gravy, you know how hard it is doing content. And if you ever want to put your stuff on Veteran Nation, by all means, I'm happy to help you. And you giving me more content helps me. That's why I've created things like the military leadership lessons. It's quick videos that I can do. I think people would benefit from. Some of those type of things, not specifically that, but stuff like that, where I'm actually teaching people, are what I might put under if I do memberships. Joseph, I hope you are accommodated with both the successful surgery and your preferred doctor. Well, we got 74 people watching here. Everyone, if you would, please retweet, like, share, subscribe, everything. I also appreciate the comments. This is the free-for-all. Whatever you guys want to talk about, we will talk about. When it's case by case at the VA, it's hard to teach or put out accurate information. That is absolutely true. That's why I tell people. I get a lot of people who reach out, and I'll help. I'll give you the information that I know, and I will help you every way that I can. But you should watch people who are more knowledgeable than me, people like Combat Carl, people who are VSOs, because they know more about this stuff than I ever will. I really need to do more of the soundboard in today's show. I haven't done much, talking about John Crook. How scary was it for him, when the sheriff showed up? And then the video of court. Millivet, you guys, if you guys want a soundboard during your stuff, let's get together offline. I'll show you the cheap way of doing it. I'm always trying to do whatever I can to enhance this show to make it a little bit more watchable. That's why I changed the look of everything. And I when I was on the plane, I was reading my Digital Marketing for Dummies book. So there's stuff. I can't wait for the 2 episodes of The Price is Right to air, because then in the one, I'm right behind Contestants Row. So there'll be a lot of footage of me wearing my Veteran Nation shirt. So I'm going to clip all that stuff and push it out. The one I was talking to, she laughed because she's part of the team. Talk more about the letter of Congress, please. So, okay. So Kahanu, he lives up in the Bay Area, and he has TBI. Kahanu, jump in and correct me. He's got TBI and a couple other issues. And he, as part of what he was doing in his spare time to deal with this PTSD, he was playing paintball, airsoft, those type of things. A lot of veterans do it. So his doctor, his VA doctor, decided to go onto his Facebook, saw this stuff, and then said, "This is a dangerous guy. He needs to have his Second Amendment taken away." So she then entered him into the NICS background check. So now when he goes to buy a gun, they're like, "No, you're flagged. You can't get one." Never, never has a court of law ever said you can't have a gun on him. Just a doctor who saw him playing airsoft and determined that he was violent. Now, is he an angry veteran? Very much so, and he has a right to be. He's been screwed over. That doesn't make someone violent. I'm an angry veteran. I take everything, and I use my First Amendment right. I use this show. So what we did was we started him, and then Kevin, the angry vet. He's on YouTube as well. He was arrested for filming his doctor at the VA. He pulled out his phone because the doctor was saying he wasn't going to treat him anymore. Again, he's got mental, things. He's got PTSD. He needs medications, and his doctor's telling him he's not going to do them. So he starts recording them. They arrested him, and they're still trying to convict him of wiretapping. It's a two-party consent state. But the moment I'm filming, if you don't consent, leave. Walk away from me. Create your own privacy. So it's complete BS. So that's we started a joint letter. They wanted a lawyer to look at it, which to me, I don't care. It just was something that I didn't think was needed, but they wanted a lawyer to look at it. So I did take it to a lawyer friend of mine. He looked at it, thought it was a great draft, but we need to do additional drafts, and then we're going to have veteran YouTube. And if you guys want to join on to signing it, we're going to actually send it to the Veterans Affairs, the Senate Veterans Affairs Committee, and the House Veterans Affairs Committee, and say that the VA having a problem with veterans recording is wrong, taking retaliation against veterans is wrong, and there should be a process, and the VA police should have body cameras, and deleting or tampering with the footage should be considered tampering with evidence. Probably not scary at all. It felt like home to him. Yeah, it's weird how that happens. When I went to OCS after having been to boot camp before and like all the screaming, I was like, wow, this is such a weird feeling. It's like I went back home again. It's oddly comforting. So yeah, he probably feels right at home. Shawshank Redemption? John Crook found himself institutionalized. The sisters took a liking to him. Do you think John's the guy in the shower going, "I can be a friend to you"? I was shocked 4 cars showed up for the arrest. That's more than has ever been cited. Yeah, again, more visitors to Orange County. See, Tubetown is doing its job. You want to join on? Okay. If you're talking about the letter, just shoot me an email or just DM me on any of these things, and I will send you a link to it, and we can add your name. And because after we do up the joint letter, I'm going to do in-person petitions as well. We just have to get the verbiage on that letter, and I'll also do a change.org petition, which definitely sign our change.org petition that we just had. Oh damn it! Yeah, I hold on here. I closed out the thing. I'll put it back up, but it's actually in the description. So if you go to our change.org petition, that is keeping veterans with their Second Amendment rights. Please sign that one. But yeah, that's how how we can affect change. and then we can, it's my hope that one day on, as we help all these veterans, that me and other people who are supporters of Veteran Nation, or some of these other YouTubers, that we testify to Congress one day. That is absolutely a goal of this show. Whether it happens in 10 years, 20 years, I don't care. But we want them to hear us. Flippin' Adventure is the best security on the planet. But yeah, here, let me pull up that petition that we do have. Okay, that's pulling up, and let me switch. Here you go. Here's the change.org. Like I said, it's in the description. This is what it's got, the Veteran Nation logo. We still have 21 signatures, so people get in there and sign it. We want our veterans to have our Second Amendment rights. These are people who are trained to use their Second Amendment rights. People who are trained on how to safely use a weapon. And, just because someone, in the one case, just because someone can't control their finances doesn't mean they're a danger at all. So, yeah. What else you guys want to talk about? This thing, I hate how this thing leaks. I have to find some way. Has anyone got any suggestions? The one coffee mug I had, it had a rubber rim around the top and a little flapper like this, and the rubber, whenever the rubber would get wet, it actually stuck harder. So that one didn't leak. But like I said, that one was, it's now dented from my time in Afghanistan. Yeah, I don't want to I still have it, but I don't really use it that much anymore because the rubber does wear down. But if I could find one just like that, the bigger the better too. When I do this show, I use this one. This one takes about 3 cups of coffee. This is normally the one that I use when I'm fishing because I'll fill it up and go fishing. It does keep it reasonably warm. My coffee, we've been streaming for an hour now, and it's only hour and a half, and it's only just now starting to get cold. So I do like this one. I just don't like that it drips. Did you see Tom McDonald's news video that was just released Friday for a song called "Heroes"? Worth a listen. I'll check it out. Actually, is it on YouTube? Here, I'll transition. Let's see if it's on YouTube. Think you'll have a problem if I watch it and do a live react? Thanks, T80. Oh, Two Awesome Dogs. Yep, Two Awesome Dogs is awesome. Thank you so much for the support. Okay. I'm going to try and get this thing up and running.
Building your online business?
Are you building your online business?
Go to Wix.com and set up your store. There's too many songs about diamond teeth and gold chains. Too many rappers who still glorify gangs. There's way too many rhymes about codeine and women we'd like to bang. I just wanted to make a song to say thanks. Thank you to the cops who really trying to make the world a better place, risking their lives to keep a man they never even met safe. They ain't trying to kill your kids or lock their father away. They got families who need food on their plates. And thank you to the firefighters. Whenever I hear sirens, I pray. It takes a special kind of man to run toward all the flames. When we see smoke and we need help, the fire can't be contained. They running in while everybody runs away. And thank you to the soldiers fighting for us, flying way overseas. Ain't never met you, but I love you cause you're dying for me. I'm enjoying my freedom and I know freedom ain't free. When the anthem plays, I don't take a knee. And thank you to the truckers, the janitors, and the average people.
You guys are getting an echo because of my... Hold on here, I gotta put in the headphones. Sorry about that. There we go. I want to hear it. All right, we're going to restart it now.
The ones holding the jobs that will damage your ego. The ones who do the most and in return they get zero. Screw what anyone says, y'all are heroes. Everyday people, they know who they are. They aren't superstars and they don't fight evil. They gotta do the hours with no superpowers. Everyday people don't always save the world. They don't get the girl, but y'all are heroes. Too many songs about Xanax and faces covered with tattoos, and way too many asses on camera with rap dudes. Too much Gucci, Louis, Prada clothing trying to brand you. I just want to make a song to say thank you. Thank you to the paramedics coming at high speed in an ambulance, trying to get someone to breathe at the scene of an accident. Covered in a stranger's blood and trying to bring them back again. Their stress levels always at a maximum. Thank you to the carpenters, mechanics, and the welders and plumbers. Y'all are building all the roofs that we're under. Swinging hammers in the pouring rain, the snow in the summer. I hope you know that I appreciate your struggle. Thank you to the nurses and doctors fighting for everyone's lives. Y'all don't always find a cure, but I believe that you tried. The guilt of seeing someone who you tried to save die, don't let it haunt you. Y'all bought them some time. And thank you to the priests and the pastors and the grocery store clerks. The ones who don't get thanked or paid enough for their work. Probably feel disrespected and I'm sure that it hurts. But let me tell you, y'all are heroes for sure. Everyday people, they know who they are. They aren't superstars and they don't fight evil. They gotta do the hours with no superpowers. Everyday people don't always save the world. They don't get the girl, but y'all are heroes. Heroes. You don't need a mask and a cape. Don't lose sleep wondering if humanity's safe. Whoa, whoa. And you don't gotta fly to the moon. Don't need x-ray sight to see the hero in you. Whoa, whoa. Everyday people, they know who they are. They aren't superstars and they don't fight evil. They gotta do the hours with no superpowers. Everyday people don't always save the world. They don't get the girl, but y'all are heroes. Heroes.
Nice. I enjoyed that. I think that's a great message. You know, that's thank you. I appreciate you bringing that to us. You know, a part of me, people like this are, if I can ever, the hard part is where I live. It's very rural out here, middle of the desert. I want to do a veterans festival where I have music, and like people like that is who I would want to bring in. And you know, the hard part is right now where I live. It's very rural. Even though we've got a major base, not, you know, I'm 7 miles from it. I do want to do some stuff like that, and these are the type of people that I would love to have. And I've talked to some comedians who want to do the same thing too. Where I just really need to find a venue out here. I think I might have one. We still have a drive-in movie theater here, and I have tried to talk with them, but it was new management coming in, and they weren't ready to talk yet. But yeah, I will be reaching out to them. We also have an Indian casino out here. I would like to talk with them about it as well. Just do a veterans music and comedy festival, I think would be great. You know, just a weekend long thing, make it an annual thing. But these are the type of musicians and the type of stuff I would want to have. Joseph signed the petition. Thank you so much. I would ask everyone, if sign the petition and share the petition, because we definitely want to get that out there. He's a military supporter, a lot of songs supporting Americans and veterans. He and his followers give to vets every year specifically to show his appreciation. That's awesome. In fact, I signed up for, I got to follow up. There's a thing of Gary Sinise does a thing at Disneyland for the Gary Sinise Foundation. and I signed up to be a volunteer. I do have to talk with, because it's another nonprofit who brought it to me and was like, hey, do you want to be a part of this? And I was like, yeah, absolutely. I've got no problem doing that. I mean, Disneyland's an hour and a half, 2 hours from my house, so I've got to drive a little bit, but that's not the end of the world. But yeah, that type of stuff is what we're trying to do. We got 143 people. Everyone, please like, share, subscribe, comment, do all that good stuff. Everything you guys do really helps us. Please, if you would, we have this this change.org petition that we're doing to safeguard veterans' Second Amendment rights. The VA is trying to use its health side of everything to put people into the NICS background check to deny veterans their Second Amendment rights, and we want to put an end to it. And what they told the other day is that they would not comply. They told Congress they would not comply if Congress passed this law. That is complete and total BS. And I did clip what we were talking about the other day. That's going to go out later on this week. Special report update guy who was killed was a young daddy of young girls. So I was asked if, with the Trump shirt that we're selling, I was asked if I would give the money for that to the family. And here, I'll show you guys the shirt. So here's the shirt. I just took the iconic image of Trump, pumping his fist, and I just turned it into a silhouette. I kept the American flag as the color, and it's just Unstoppable is the name of it. $15. About $3 of that comes back to us. And yeah, if that family does any type of fundraiser, I will happily give any proceeds I make on that to them. I have a feeling they will do one. I don't think they'll have a problem hitting whatever goals they have, but that person should not have given their life in that way. But the fact that they did, we need to take care of that family, and we absolutely do. So that's, if they have some type of way for me to donate the money I make off that shirt, I will absolutely do that. Gary Sinise does Gold Star families to Disney. Yep, and that's exactly why I'm saying, like, if I can give Gold Star families is great. Gold Star families is great, but there's a lot of things out there to help Gold Star families. I don't want to be that limited. I don't even want it to be like active duty families. I want all veterans. If I can get to a thing where I can do vacations for them, I would love to do that. It doesn't have to be huge. It can be a weekend getaway. So that's a goal of this. If I can get there, great. I can't wait till the day veterans don't have to apply for help with the chance to be denied. Yeah, right. I tried a few organizations and I didn't qualify for help, but had my information sold or given out. Yeah, that's the other problem. I don't keep people's information. I don't keep people's information at all. If people want to give me their information, I guess that would be one thing, but it's never come up, and it's not in my plan for this nonprofit. I don't want to sell people's information. Trump will make sure the families are taken care of. I believe so. But I mean, that doesn't mean we can't still have a part of that.
Looks like I picked the wrong week to quit amphetamines.
The Secret Service, man, like for the detail who was protecting Trump, I think they did a great job. But whoever did that threat assessment of that area, man, yeah, sorry, think there was some mistakes made. Why is this telling me I'm only on 2 platforms right now? Did I lose YouTube? Okay, there we go. Sorry. Yep, my microphone died. So the good thing about this is it comes with two. So I'm able to plug in the other one. I'm actually going to probably buy another one of these microphones. I got it off Temu. And, only paid I think I paid $6. Nothing that big. But I think I might keep these, get another one to keep in my car, because there have been times where I feel like, oh, something's happening. I got to go live on this. So I might keep another set in my car for that. Because I'll forget if I don't. But yeah, so I recognize that this Trump image is iconic. This one right here for the Unstoppable. So that's why I was like, okay, I am going to just silhouette this. So that way, I'm changing it a little bit. But again, I'm not making money off this. It's all going to the nonprofit. I can pay my bills. I can pay my bills. That's why I get microphones for $6 off Temu. I keep things as cheap as possible. So yeah, that's. But I also did these. Trump wins. These were the ones I did at first. I have had a couple people buy them. I also did a black and white version. So I mean, I understand people don't like Trump, but I just saw this as an opportunity. I'm muted. It's showing me that I'm not. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? It's showing me that I've got. And now it's telling me I'm back up on YouTube again. So I don't know what's happening. Can you hear me okay? Just give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. Because if I have to switch microphones, I will. But it looks like, from everything I'm looking at, it looks like you guys can hear me. I'm watching the little bar go. Okay. So yeah, I was a little bit. You guys had me worried. Yeah, I might need. Yeah, sometimes these things do screw up. But yeah, that picture that picture is going to be an iconic image. It's going to be one of those things that generations are going to see for years. It's yeah. There's a lot of things that with that, it's going to have ripple effects that we're going to have for years and years and years. Yeah, that'll be things that our kids see. But yeah, I am a little bit concerned. I think the Secret Service has some definite questions they need to answer. So yeah, 170 people. Thank you so much, you guys, for being here. Please hit the like, share, subscribe. One thing I do want to show. So I did this a while ago. I'm gonna show this picture. So this is a T-shirt that I sell. Alec Baldwin. Obviously, he's got the teardrop tattoo. Comply. Baldwin's Justice. Show every outlaw in your town. We ain't shooting blanks. I did that one as a funny one some time back, just because Alec Baldwin has been such a jerk for years. Like, I watched videos of him, like, not just paparazzi. He's had run-ins with paparazzi. If you remember, he assaulted a guy on a plane probably about 10 years ago. And he got a slap on the wrist for that. I've seen videos of him just going after people recording. Now, the one woman who was going after him for Palestine, like 2 months ago, yeah, that woman was just crazy. But yeah, I am upset that the DA. What is going on? Why are our DAs so bad? Really, you didn't turn over evidence to the defense, and now he's going to walk. He was the executive producer, the guy in charge of everything on that set. And the armorer gets convicted of manslaughter, but he doesn't. He's the guy in charge. He's the guy who hired that armorer. He absolutely is liable for that, and he's going to walk because the DA. If you're in Santa Fe, you need to have that. That DA needs to be fired. You need to have your DA fired. You should be protesting, because it's one thing to have the jury made the decision, but no, they took it out of the jury's hands. The DA's fault. I understand people are blaming the judge. I don't blame the judge. The judge has a job to do, and the judge, in my opinion, did their job. You'd have to show me something that shows that they did not do their job, but I think the judge did what they were supposed to, but the DA absolutely is wrong and needs to be fired. Absolutely needs to be fired. I'm trying to think what else. I did want to talk about that a little bit. Oh, we just sold another t-shirt. Awesome. Thank you so much. Make sure you guys are sharing the petition here. Sharing this petition. Because, yeah, they're taking away veterans' guns and veterans' Second Amendment rights. Yeah, I did want to talk about Alec Baldwin because I saw that shirt. Mainly because I just want the world to know what a jerk he is. And that's exactly how I see it. He's been a jerk to so many people and gotten away with it that, I'm not saying cancel him. He still has a right to work, but we also should have a right to be like, no, that guy's a jerk. And he should have been held. I'm not saying he needed jail time or anything, but he should have been held liable. A George Soros DA. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they did that on purpose. Like, that is such a bonehead move. Would not be surprised if it was done on purpose. So that's my conspiracy theory on that.
You ever seen a grown man naked?
But yeah, we need to. I don't know much about that DA. If they're corrupt, then we should go after them. We should go after all these corrupt DAs. And we also, for these other attorney generals and DAs out there, they need to get some balls. They really do need to get some balls and start going after people. Like, I'm tired of watching, these people who are doing things wrong, getting a slap on the wrist, and then the January 6th people getting, like, the full brunt of the law. I think the January 6th people, what they did was incredibly stupid. I have no problem with them being prosecuted, but it should be vandalism. They should have been vandalism. Anyone who assaulted anybody should be prosecuted for assault. But 20 years in prison, being put in solitary confinement, that's not okay. What's his name from the Proud Boys, who I actually have interviewed before. The VA took away all his rights as a veteran. And it's like, no, that is beyond your scope. You shouldn't be doing stuff like that. Like, he's still a veteran. While he's in jail, yeah, you suspend all of his VA rights while he's in jail. That's fine. But once he gets out, no, he's still a veteran, had an honorable discharge. You don't take that stuff away because you don't like what happened on January 6th. That's another. Like, we can't play politics with these cases. We have to treat them all equally. As I've said before, I don't believe in throwing the book at people. I also don't believe in making an example of anybody on any side. You just need to show that the process works, that the government works. Unless you rob someone, nobody should be able to pay money for a punishment. I want to agree with you on that. I've never thought too much about it. And that's my honest answer. I haven't thought too deeply about it. You may be right, but I would have to spend some time thinking about that. But it's definitely, you're giving me things to think about.
I'm simply saying that life finds a way.
So yeah, I was pretty upset about Alec Baldwin. I really didn't tweet about it. But you can go buy your Alec Baldwin Old West Justice t-shirt. I've got a couple of the shirts that I buy. I keep everything drop shipping. It's an easy way for me to not have to put an investment into it. And for a content creator, that's pretty good. Using drop shipping, it's pretty easy. I do like Fourth Wall, where I do all my t-shirts and everything, because they make it incredibly easy to design and put one up. I must have used a restricted word in chat because my comment is gone. Uh-oh. You using the naughty language on me? It's probably YouTube screwing up. If Two Awesome Dogs lost what's it? Oh, I'm seeing some weird stuff happen. Am I still streaming? Yeah, it is. Okay. Something weird happening on the soundboard. And I do control on the soundboard when I can go live and not. Which people can buy their way out of problems and can be repeat offenders because money is no problem for them. True. There are times, though, where money could be the best option. That's why I said I need to give that one some thought.
Son of a bitch!
Yeah, so I might have to think about that one, figure out what's the best way for it. But I'm open to what you're saying, though, Gravy. I really am. Gravy, you need to come on the show. You do need to come on the show, and we have a discussion face to face. Because I do like what you say, and I think about what you say. I did use the word pew pew. It happens. Who's in jail when Congressman Tlaib told people to shut down the White House chambers? You know, that again, it's no different. That was no different than what, Trump had said. But yet all the January 6th people are, getting these obscure laws being used to the maximum. And that's why, the Supreme Court was like, yeah, come on now. It's one thing, prosecute them. You vandalized, you breaking and entering, fine. All that stuff, you can prosecute and then plead down and be like, okay, yeah, we've done our job. But taking it further and further, no, that doesn't need to happen, especially for first-time offenders. Really? Like, that's just ridiculous,
Dad, what are you doing? It's Shark Week.
But yeah, my autistic brain thinks about things most don't. Yeah, you know what? That's actually why autistic people are really important, if you do have autism, because they have a perspective that other people do not. And I'm one, I appreciate other people's perspective, especially when they're telling me that I'm wrong. I would much rather be surrounded by people who tell me I'm wrong than people who tell me I'm yes.
With all due respect, sir, you're beginning to bore the hell out of me.
Hey, we got 200 people watching the show right now. Everyone, please like, share, subscribe. I appreciate it. Please give me your comments. This is a free-for-all. Free-for-all Sunday. That's what the Coffee with the Skipper is. We just kind of talk about things. I know people are always like, are you going to be watching Jeremy Hales tonight? I do watch the Sundays. I normally don't watch them as they're happening, or I'll come in a little bit late on them. And that's just because I'm always doing other stuff. Robert White, good morning. Good morning, Robert. Thank you. Ooh, he's an Oregon Ducks fan. I grew up an Ohio State fan, so you're probably not going to like me. Ray Epps gets a misdemeanor charge. Yeah, oh, absolutely. Ray Epps is clearly a Fed. He was clearly inciting telling people to go in. Yeah. Now that's someone who, if you want to go after the ringleaders and say the Proud Boys were one, why did you not go after Ray Epps? That's a great question. Great question.
Emotional damage.
I'm just having fun with the with the soundboard. I know it doesn't all match up, but
Oh wait, was she a great big fat person?
I got to make that one a little bit louder. That one's not as loud. That one and Paulie, I got to make those two louder. I do have. That one's not bad. I was playing a little bit with the sounds, making some of these louder.
Princess looks more like a prince to me. Okay, faggot, what's next?
I do have fun with some of these. If you have any suggestions for the soundboard, let me know. Oh, Misery Tigers. Okay, Joseph. Now you are going to love me. I went to school at the University of Toledo, and I worked for the football team for 4.5 years, the Toledo Rockets, and the coach for most of that was Gary Pinkel, who is he left Toledo to go to Missouri. I knew almost that whole Missouri coaching staff. There were a couple changes, people that I didn't bring from Toledo. The defensive coordinator ended up becoming the head coach of Toledo as one example. But so I knew Gary Pinkel and many of the people on that staff. Also Dave Christensen, who ended up leaving Missouri to become the head coach of Wyoming. I know him. In fact, I talked with him a couple times since then. He's now in Poland as a coach. And also I know Jim Harding, who is at Utah currently. I believe is he the offensive coordinator now? And he was offensive line coach. I think he was promoted to offensive coordinator. I haven't talked to Jim since I left Toledo, but a great guy, really nice family. We lived in the same town, but yeah. So there's coaches that I know. In fact, the one was at Florida for a couple years, came back to Toledo, and then was fired and is now suing the University of Toledo. Craig Kulagowski, and I think he's going to win. But it's pretty interesting. Like people that I interacted with, people who played on the team. Like one guy was one of our wide receivers, ended up becoming an Olympian on the bobsled team, and then another one of our defensive players ended up becoming an Olympian for the country of Liberia. Careful of using the homo F word. YouTube took away monetization for civil rights lawyers' video for that word. Just FYI. It happens. I don't really make much. I'm on YouTube. I've made more money of you guys giving super chats than anything. So if they demonetize a video, I'm not brokenhearted too much. I do like that the videos are monetized, even though I haven't really made any money off it, because there's always that potential. You never know what's going to go viral. You never know what's going to be the thing. We got someone watching on Facebook again. Awesome. Welcome, everyone. So yeah, that's I do have some. I love college football. I'm going to be going to a couple USC games now that they're in the Big Ten. Last year I went, or not last year. Was it last? It was either the year before I went to see Bowling Green play UCLA, because I'm a big fan of the MAC, obviously from University of Toledo, and I'm a big fan, I wore my Toledo stuff to watch Bowling Green play, and I cheered for UCLA. So that was fun, because all the Bowling Green people were like, you should be cheering for Bowling Green. I'm a Toledo fan. We hate Bowling Green. I actually didn't care. I was just happy to see a good game. And it was a pretty good game. But I do think some of these smaller conferences, even though they expanded the playoffs, I think the MAC, the WAC, the Mountain West, I think they should all merge into a super conference and have like a 4 or 6 game playoff at the end of the season to determine their champion, to see who's going to go into the national championship, because that would playoffs are always way more democratic than anything else. You get one shot, win or lose, done. I don't like when you have these conferences of, oh, we're going to split up and you're not going to play all the teams, but we're going to do a conference championship where then it's a rematch, and I hate all that stuff. There should be 8 teams on your side of the conference. You play all 7 teams, and then it's a championship game or a championship playoff from there. That's how I feel it should go in college football. Totally. Yeah, that's and there's money in playoffs. I'm shocked it took so long for college football when college basketball makes so much money off playoffs. That's the other thing. Like, I hate how long NBA and NHL playoffs are. If they made them, no, it's going to be like 1 game elimination tournament where everyone's in. Does it make your regular season not? People are like, it means the regular season doesn't have a point. No, not exactly, because that determines where you get placed. But there's money in tournaments. There's so much money in tournaments. So we'll see. Hopefully they realize this and start putting real money into this stuff. Auburn fanware Eagle. Oh, okay. Auburn Eagle. Okay, I gotcha. But you're in Florida. Choose FSU all day. That's kind of hard. I would imagine it'd be hard to be an Auburn and FSU fan. I would imagine it'd be tough. Played high school football against Tony Galbraith and James Stewart in high school. So I did not play. I was equip manager even in high school. My freshman year, we played against Charles Woodson. He beat us on we had them beat until our punter punted the ball right to him, and he ran around the side, took it to the house, and beat us then. And then who else did we play against? My brother played against Ben Roethlisberger. Ben Roethlisberger went to Findlay High School, but he was not the quarterback. It was his junior year. My brother was a senior. My brother was a junior. Roethlisberger was junior, but he was a wide receiver, and that's why Roethlisberger didn't go to a big college, because he only played quarterback his senior year. So no big colleges wanted to take a chance on him, because they only had 1 year of stats. Even though he broke all the Ohio records, he had 1 year of stats. So Miami of Ohio was like, look, we lost our quarterback. Our backup quarterback transferred. You come here, you're probably going to start. They brought him and one other quarterback, and they competed from the job. And he, for 4 years at Miami of Ohio, was the starter. That's how he had all those big college stats. That's how he ended up in the pros and had a lot of snaps. So it all becomes those 10,000 hours. Like, they say you gotta do 10,000 hours to be an expert at something. Playing the guitar, doing a hobby or something. So that's why that is. We got 200 people in here. Everyone, please like, share, subscribe, retweet. I do appreciate you guys doing this. It's huge for me. I can't thank you enough. Birmingham Blazers. I started watching a little bit of the what's that league? I'm drawing a blank. But I started watching that league. I just kind of fell off on it. I need to get back in to watching it. Yeah. Oh my God, you guys retweeting this? You guys are awesome. You are absolutely awesome. Sorry, I just read where someone replied to me. I was calling out bad behavior on Twitter, and some guy replied to me. It was like, you had to go back 2 years for this? No, all I had to do is search Trump on your timeline, and I saw where you called Trump a Nazi. So I hope that guy's watching right now. It's like, yeah, you are a piece of crap. People like you are why Trump was attacked. We don't have to call people Nazis. We don't have to call people as saying you're in a Trump. You can respectfully disagree with people. You don't have to get into name calling. I'm going to turn this. You guys are going to see how dirty my room is, but I got to show you Conspiracy Kitty. If I can. There he is asleep. Right there. The show is too much for him. He will be back with his conspiracy theories again. I gotta do laundry. I got all my laundry stacked up. Galbraith was known as Thunder 250 running back in the early 70s. Nice. That's I did get an autograph of what's his name? Archie Griffin, the only two-time Heisman Trophy winner. Got when I was at Toledo, we played Ohio State. Got his autograph on my press pass, or not press pass, but my sideline pass. Now I do press stuff. Like I've done, they keep asking me to do NASCAR stuff, which I know the history of NASCAR. Like I used to be really big into it. I watch it now, but I'm not as huge into it. But if they want me to go to a NASCAR event and cover it, I'll happily go. It's not a big deal for me. They've also asked me to do ladies golf, which is actually fun. I love going to women's golf. Really, any golf outing, I do enjoy covering as a sports journalist. Gotta go. Well, thank you. I appreciate all your comments. I appreciate you being here. And make sure you get in touch with me because I want to get you a shirt and make sure Willis, if he needs any more. But yeah, I enjoy going to a lot of these sporting events. They've had me do some MMA stuff in the past. Kickboxing, I've covered kickboxing. I always would get the ones that no one wanted to do. Like if you ask someone, hey, I need someone to cover an NFL, like there were people lining up to do those events, or baseball, or the big ones. Hockey's the only big one that they really asked me to do that. I was like, yeah, I can, but then someone else who was closer was like, oh, I'll take that event, and I was like, okay, I don't care. Yeah, they always asked me to do the ones that they had a harder time finding people to do. And honestly, those are the ones most fun. Like NASCAR. Like, okay, if you're, as a journalist, if you're covering, say, like a football, you can ask, be like, I'd like to talk with this player. They may or may not make them available to you. When you go in the press conference, there's going to be a ton of people in the press conference. So you may or may not get your questions answered. But when you do some of these other sports, like NASCAR is great. If I ever wanted to talk with a NASCAR driver, all I had to do was talk to the press coordinator. I was like, look, I want to talk with this driver, or I want to talk with this owner, or I want to talk with this crew chief. Like, they'd be like, when do you want them? What time? And they would make them available. NASCAR really gets it. They get their fans. Because they understand the fans want to hear this stuff and talk to them about this stuff. So they were great. Now, when I did MMA, there were people in the press pool and people covering the thing. So like the press conference was a little bit chaotic, but if I did say, hey, I'd like to talk with this fighter, or can I get X amount of time with this trainer, they absolutely bent over backwards. The ladies golf was fun because after they were done, I sat in the press tent. I was just there having a couple cocktails, and a couple of those ladies came off. I was sitting there drinking with this one guy. It turns out he was one of the golfers' husbands. And those ladies, they get off the thing, and they were coming in the hospitality tent to get something to eat. Not all of them drank, but a couple did. And they were a lot of fun to hang out with. That's when I met Mark Wahlberg in Afghanistan. Everyone wanted to talk to him about movies and stuff. I started talking to him about golf. I actually am starting to golf again. I took an 8-year hiatus away from golf. But my swing isn't all there yet. but the fundamentals are still there. So I might keep that up. It just got so expensive there for a while. I think Miss Angel is cooking something. I'm smelling food. So yeah, 217 people in here. Hey, if you guys have liked, shared, retweeted this, thank you so much. Please, if you haven't, please like, share, subscribe, all that stuff. And also, sign our petition. It's at change.org. I did tweet this out. This petition is for veterans. I'll do a refresh. So we got 22 signatures. Is this because the VA is trying to take veterans' Second Amendment rights away? Don't let them do that. The Congress is right now looking at a couple laws that will prevent the VA from doing this, and the VA has told Congress they will not comply with it. That's BS. So we need to fight for all of our veterans and end their Second Amendment rights. This administration is very adversarial to veterans. I know they like to say they're not, but for the veterans who are actually out there, they don't want to give our enlisted military a pay raise, which you want to talk about a group that absolutely deserves a pay raise. Every time teachers tell me they need a pay raise, I'm like, will you fight for enlisted troops to get a pay raise? Because if you won't, I don't care about your pay raise. You make more money than them. Our lower enlisted we have NCOs who are lower early 20s, married with kids on food stamps. That's ridiculous for our military. And the administration doesn't want to pay them more. Instead, they're putting money into gender reassignment for our military. It's like, what? So, and then they do things like they pass the PACT Act, where now all of us veterans who were exposed to all these things, hey, now we can get we can get all of our claims taken care of. And what do? 6 months later, they announce that, we're going to reduce the disability percentages for all these things. So now, if you hadn't signed up for the PACT Act in that small time frame, what was it, 2 years that they gave you to sign up for? If you didn't sign up then, now you're going to get less money than those who signed up. Why is that a thing? That should not be a thing. And it's all because they don't want to make hard choices on budget. They want to dump money into programs through the hospital that just justify a bigger bloated bureaucracy that don't actually help veterans' healthcare. They don't help on wait lists. It's all dumb stuff like that. And that's why you have things like land in Los Angeles, in Brentwood. 200 acres was donated for a soldiers and sailors home, being leased out to Brentwood City Schools and USC for student housing. But yet LA has a major homeless veteran problem. We need to cancel those leases. Those buildings that are there, take them over and put veterans in them. But you don't hear anyone in the administration talk about it. Instead, they were trying to stop the veterans who were suing about that. They were trying to stop them from being able to sue the VA over that land. That's our land. It's not the VA's land. It was given for homeless soldiers and sailors. That's ours. It's not the students. Those rich students can get apartments. Brentwood City Schools can afford to build new schools. Our veterans can't. So that's me up on my high horse. But these are all true things. They're all true things. Fast food workers get $20 an hour, making more money than a lot of our military veterans. Absolutely they do. Yeah, here in California, $20 an hour. And here's the thing, it's going up next year. It's going to be $25 an hour. McDonald's is already talking about pulling out of California. They just don't want to, and it's not because McDonald's doesn't want to pay that. They don't want to be forced to pay that. I believe McDonald's right now pays like $23 an hour. They were already doing it. But California said, no, you have to pay more. So McDonald's is talking about leaving. How crazy is that? Like, yeah, this
Are you really retarded?
this state is, it kicks itself. It kicks itself. But that's why Gavin Newsom will never be president. Not happening. I don't see it. He's the only people that like him here are the people he's essentially paid off. Like, people will still vote for him, but that's just because he's got a D behind his name. They don't really like him. The dude's a scumbag. He's just a scumbag. Wow, we got 220 people here. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Make sure you sign sign the petition. I've already tweeted out. Buy our Trump shirt. Here, I gotta pull it back up. I took that iconic image of Trump yesterday. VeteranNationFoundation.com. $15. All the money is going to come back to our nonprofit so that we can help veterans. Yeah, In-N-Out is fighting it too. Yeah, it's funny that even the most progressive companies are fighting it. But yet, he carved out an exception for Panera Bread because, if I remember correctly, he owns a stake in Panera Bread. Interesting. Isn't that interesting? We should divide all costs by 4 and go back to a backed currency. Yep. I mean, there's a reason I'm investing in crypto. I think there is a space for crypto. I know people are like, it's a scam. There are people out there scamming with crypto, but that's like everything else. Hell, there are people trying to scam you out of your. We got Tom Selleck trying to scam people with reverse mortgages. That's what I needed on the soundboard is his Tom Selleck being like, it's not a scam. I want to put that on. That commercial makes me and my family. Anthony Cumia and Dave Landau, they did a thing where they were, and I'll tweet out the thing again later on today, but it was, Tom Selleck with reverse mortgages, and he's like, a reverse mortgage is not a scam, and they pause it and they're like, okay, if you have to tell people it's not a scam, it is 100% a scam. Yeah, reverse mortgages are a scam. Crypto, there's some good crypto. I'm going to keep buying Bitcoin until 2040. That is part of my plan. I'm not putting all my money into it. I just buy a little bit every week, buy a chunk here, chunk there. And that is because in 2040, they will stop mining crypto or Bitcoin. And the price of it will jump. It will jump. And where I see the benefit of crypto is right now the way banks operate is through wire transfers. So if you've ever had to do a wire transfer, they send money back and forth via telegrams, essentially. And it takes at least 24 hours for that to clear, meaning it gets sent and then they have to verify back and forth. Conspiracy Kitty is back. Here he is, ladies and gentlemen. Let's talk some conspiracy kitties. There's some conspiracies with our kitty. But, so that's what the crypto is going to be. It's going to be for banks to send money back and forth. Yeah, you got your little tinfoil hat on. Yeah, say like Alex Jones says, they're turning the frogs gay. They're turning the frogs gay. With all the stuff in the water system, they're trying to control the weather, folks. Don't listen to the stuff about the hurricanes. They're creating it. That's Conspiracy Kitty, everyone. You can follow Conspiracy Kitty on Twitter at Kitty Conspires. At Kitty Conspires. You can follow him there. He posts a lot of his conspiracy theories there. We used to look forward to the cheese giveaway when I was an airman, right? Yeah, whenever you got something free when you were in the service, it was like, oh my God, yeah, I'm gonna take this because everything else you have to pay for. You got to pay for your freaking uniforms. I had a chance in 2009 to buy Under Armour stock. I should have. Yeah, On a lot of that stuff, if someone tells me it's a good thing, oh, the hat messed up my mic. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'll invest. I'm now to the point where it's like I'll invest money that it's like if I lose this, I don't care. I'm not going to be like, oh, I want to put thousands of dollars into it. It'll be like, okay, well, I can afford to lose, 50, $60. Okay, let me put in it and see what it does. Can't wait to see what Sky News Australia does with Rita Pahani. She's losing it as all I have seen her stuff. She is pretty good. Yeah, that's. Do you think the hat, the conspiracy hat, messing up my microphone, is that a conspiracy? So one thing I can do, and maybe I'll do it, is a thing that like zooms in on, where it zooms in on my picture of me here. I do have this too. So that's for our Blue Falcons out there. The guy. Yep. Okay. It's a conspiracy theory. Conspiracy theory. I also have. We haven't done it. Maybe we'll do it on Tuesday. Is the Blue Falcon Award? The Blue Falcon Award in the military. The Blue Falcon is the guy who screws everybody else over for himself. So that's what that is for. So that's why when we give out the award, I need to put that as one of my quick little things where that scene comes up automatically on the soundboard. Because I do have a couple scenes. What is this? Here, I'll show you real quick. Oh, then it doesn't. It brings them up only in my thing. Maybe if I. Oh, okay. I know what I'm a little bit messed up here. Don't pay no attention to the man behind the curtain.
Hey, where are the white women at?
Wow, 223 people. Hey, thank you everyone. Thank you everyone who retweeted this. And if I'm not following you on Twitter or Instagram, let me know. Facebook is the only one that I pretty much keep private, and that's because I've got like pictures of like my kids, nieces, nephews, stuff like that. So that's why I keep that one private. I've had people reach out to me. I'm sorry, I'm not going to add. If I don't know you personally, I'm not going to add you as a friend. It's not because I don't appreciate you or anything like that. That's why. It's protect the kids. But Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. You want me to follow your YouTube? Shoot it to me. I'll do all that. Can't let the cat out of the bag. People used to sell piglets in sacks, and the buyer couldn't open the bag until they paid. They put less expensive animals in the bag, i.e., cats. Is that what this? Is that where that comes from? I do know the one guy made money where he was selling soap, and he put $100 in the package of soap. I believe it was or maybe it was like $10. It was an Old West, but he'd make like $100 selling the soap. So it's funny, like stuff like that. Now, that I would say, if there was actually $10 in the soap somewhere, it's not a scam. You're taking a chance. You know what you're doing. It's kind of like going to a casino. The Gravy, let me ask you this. We are talking about maybe doing a veteran investing show where veterans and military, we have very unique outlook and information on things. And if we were to invest in those and talk about them and share that information, we might be able to make some very smart investments. Would it something you might be interested in? Because if I do that, I might do it as like a subscription or a membership type thing. But I'm not going to ask for it would be like $2. just if we do something like that, it'd be like, no, if you want to be a part of these discussions, because you could financially benefit, just give back to the nonprofit is all we're asking. That's what that subscription would be for. Okay, yeah, people are sending me stuff. So we're at 2 hours and 26 minutes that we've been live streaming. I'll probably end this by 2 hours and 30 minutes. I do want to show you guys, before we do leave for anything, I do want to show this is VeteranNationFoundation.com. You can buy the Trump fist pump silhouette shirt, only $15. They do charge you for shipping and handling. But again, if you're looking to pay multiple shirts, then it comes a little bit cheaper. We get like $3 per shirt on that. So, and you do have the option to donate to our nonprofit if you decide to purchase. You also can super chat. Obviously, if you're on YouTube, you can super chat us. That money comes to us. But really, any of these, like we've got our Veterans Before Illegals coffee mug here, right there. So we've got our merchandise with all this stuff. Camp Lejeune, stay hydrated. With all this stuff, we do get money back, so you're supporting us. Yeah, sounds good. My learning disabilities, I need help to not lose my disability when selling my art or investing. Yep. Hey, if you have art that you want to put up for sale, if it's something like I think I can put stuff out here on the website, or I can push it out on any of my platforms. So if you can get me a link, that'd be great. We've got Alec Baldwin's Old West Justice. You can buy that shirt. But by doing that, you're supporting us and supporting the veterans that we help. Like I said, a couple bucks for every shirt. Like when it's $20, we actually get more money back on those. But some of them, I know they're shirts that we can sell a lot of, so that they'll be a little bit cheaper if I think they're more popular. And then also sign our petition. I did tweet this out. So if you're on Twitter, I did tweet this out. If you're on any other platform, the link is in the description. And yeah, you can sign our petition so that we can help veterans keep their Second Amendment rights. So yeah, thank you everyone for being with us today. For those of you who have signed the petition, who have bought a T-shirt, because I did see we sold some T-shirts during today's show. Thank you so much. If you have, you can. We've got a phone number down here. So if you want to ask us a question, leave us a voicemail, or if you want to text me, you can. Where is it? Here it comes. Oh wait, no, that's for suicide. You'll see that number in the scroll. You can reach out to us there. You can also reach out at veterannation@protonmail.com. That should be down here as well. Yep, subscribe to TC's podcast, Minnesota Black Robe Regiment, on YouTube. He's also on Twitter @Robe Regiment. We have our Facebook group, Veteran Nation. You can join there. You can contact me directly there on Facebook. Yeah, there's the phone number if you want to ask a question. And you can follow us on Twitter. I actually might change my Twitter @name, though. I'm debating about that. But beyond all that, thank you so much for joining us today. We had some great comments, some great people, guests who were commenting. And for all of you out there supporting the show, thank you so much. And as always, thank you for being worth serving.